Hey, shalom, shalom, mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Hebraic month of Elul. Just a few days ago, we entered the month of Elul, and even though the month of Elul does not have any high holy days or any significantly mentioned Jewish holidays within them, nonetheless, Elul is a very, very important month because this month precedes the high holy days of the fall, specifically Yom Teruah, which is the Feast of Trumpets, otherwise known as Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, which is just one of 4 Jewish New Years, and also the day of Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. And so the month of Elul leads us all the way up to the high holy day festivals of the fall, specifically, as I just mentioned, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And the reason that Elul is so very important to us is due to the fact that this month is seen as a month of preparation. During Pesach, we had spring cleaning physically and spiritually. Well, this is kind of a fall version of that, to where we spend the month really doing inventory in our life, doing a spiritual soul check, basically looking at our lives, examining our lives, trying our best to step outside ourselves and look at ourselves unbiasedly, unjaded, and objectively, to see ourselves through God's eyes, and to see ways that we need to improve in our life, to see things that we've done wrong, things that we need to get right between us and God, and things that we need to get right between us and our fellow man. And what takes priority is not necessarily between us and God, but us and man. Why is this? For the simple fact that how can God forgive you and truly make things right between you and God if you don't have things right between you and your fellow man beforehand? So it's important to think of all the people in your life, all the people you've come in contact with, your family, your friends, synagogue and church members, your clients, your co-workers, your neighbors, everybody, and ask yourself, have I done them wrong in any way, shape, or form? Maybe you went into a Tim Hortons or a McDonald's and you were just having a bad day, and maybe they were really busy and really slow, and you ended up, biting the cashier's head off, and when she really didn't deserve it. Maybe you need to go back and find that person and say, look, you may not remember this, you may think I'm crazy, but a few months ago I really bit your head off and I was just having a bad day, and I really need to apologize. You shouldn't have been spoken to that way. Would you please forgive me? This is the time to make things right between you and everybody else. Now, if you make that effort and make things right between you and everybody else, if they don't reciprocate, in other words, if they don't forgive you, it's no skin off your back. You did your job. The ball is now in their court. If you've done everything to make things right between you and somebody else, and they don't accept your apology, don't worry about it. Shake the dust off your feet and move on. It's no longer your responsibility. You've done what you had to do, as long as it comes out of a pure and sincere heart and mind. And so once you have everything right between you and your fellow man, then you can get down in nitty-gritty and down to business between you and God, and get things right between you and God. Maybe you need to step up your observance a little bit. Maybe you don't wear tzitzit. Maybe you need to start. Maybe you feel convicted about wearing a kippah. Maybe you kind of lose your concentration during morning prayers. You need to have more kavana, more focus, more dedication during that time. I don't know, but whatever you need to work out between you and God. Maybe you have a lust problem. Maybe you surf the net and you always come upon these porn websites or something, and you have a problem with that. Maybe you have a problem with lashon hara, speaking bad about others, or maybe exaggerating stories that you tell for sensationalism and titillation. Those are things that you need to work on between you and God, and get things right. Because Rosh Hashanah is like the new year. It's a spiritual new year. It's like turning over a new leaf, so to speak. And it's the sound of the shofar, the sound of the trumpet. I have a video called Shofar So Good, and that would be a good supplement to what I'm teaching here. So if you want to go back in the archives and try to find that, that'd be great. And so, once we come to the day of Yom Kippur, even though it's a day of fasting, a day of mourning, a day of self-denial, it doesn't have to be a solemn, mournful day. It could be a day of rejoicing. because if you get everything right ahead of time, just like tax time, April 15th. I remember being in Nashville, and right across from the bookstore I used to work at was a post office, and buddy, the lineup was out the wazoo. People trying to get in their tax returns before the deadline. But if you have your taxes done before April 15th, you don't have to worry about anything. April 15th can come and you're like, I just feel so great. I've got that taken care of. If your debt's taken care of, you don't have to worry about it, all the paperwork and stuff. So in Yom Kippur, if you have everything done ahead of time, you can be so into God, so into the Yom Kippur prayers, so into the Yom Kippur service, that even though you're fasting and you're abstaining from sexual relations with your spouse, you're not, wearing perfumes or jewelry or being luxurious in any way, you're so busy and so stoked on learning about Torah, learning about God, praising God, thanking God for His forgiveness, thanking Him for Yeshua, the ultimate Yom Kippur sacrifice, that you don't even think about eating. That it could be an awesome a day of celebration instead of a day of somber quietness. So every feast day, every high holy day should be a celebration. And if you get all the stuff done ahead of time, you don't have to go, woe is me, and beat your breast. Everything's cool. So take opportunity of the month of Elul, and just do that spiritual soul check and the inventory. Get things right between you and man and between you and God, because the scriptures also say that if you go to present your sacrifice at the altar and remember that your brother has aught against you, you leave your gift there, go to your brother, reconcile, and then come back and offer. And so that's the way it's done in Judaism. So anyway, shalom, shavua tov, and we'll catch you next time on Ray Bash's Ramblings. Bye.